Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamers Meeting number 18. Okay, this is Wisdom and Confessionals, our podcast coming to you live from Singapore. Sorry, I am a little bit late today. I have some technical problem, and also my daughter just came back, had her dinner, so I didn't want to interrupt her. So I just let her finish her dinner first before I come on to broadcast this. So how's everybody? Dreamers gather again, once again, every Tuesday night. So I hope you had a wonderful week. If you have caught up with the podcast last week, you know that I have brought in my second brother from Brisbane, and I hope you enjoyed that episode where we learn about the joy of learning. So I hope that was a good time for you. Well, for today, I have something very special, and I also warn you or preempt you that I'm going to show you my new studio setup. So I hope you like my setup. I just had the signboard, okay, this one, just delivered 2 days ago. I couldn't switch it on. Okay, it's actually a LED sign, because somehow if I switch it on, it would be a little bit bright, so there's a little bit of technical issue with the lighting. Okay, hope you also like my board here, okay, reminding us to always be 1% better every single day, which is the topic that we're going to be talking about today. Anyway, in December, remember when I first came back to Singapore from Kuala Lumpur, I shared with you that almost every weekend, I had an event. I had Songs Festival, then I had some engagement with a church to speak to the youth, and then I have meetings. So every weekend I have something on, and I remember complaining that that life back in Singapore has become so hectic, because prior to that in Kuala Lumpur, I usually have my weekends freer. So during December, I complained, but yet I still have my weekdays, to continue to build my routine back here in Singapore. So now it's been my fifth month, okay, I don't know. But anyway, last week I have experienced, for the first time, that I have an event every single weekday, okay, not weekends anymore. So every single day in the last week I was occupied with something. So there was an event, either I was mentoring or I was being mentored. And we also have our Song Kids AGM in the middle of the week as well. So I think during that busyness, which is a new level of busyness, not weekends anymore we are talking about, but we are talking about every day being so busy. So I find myself really struggling to manage that. So I find myself sleeping in my routine. I find myself sleeping a little bit later, and trying to find more time, and then feeling out of sorts. So I had to say that it was hard for me to deal with, having sort of made a commitment to follow certain routine or establish something that is more holistic for myself. So it was really very hard for me to deal with it last week, but I think this week things are freer. So it's Tuesday. I had nothing on yesterday, and I don't think I've got anything on tomorrow as well. So of course my Tuesday is coming live, and my Thursday is my mentoring with the refugees and the orphans that I do every week. So that's about all I want to schedule it in. So see, when the going gets tough, when we get busy, right? So the topic for today is about like how to be 1% better every single day, as the sign here says. So when you get busy, sometimes it's even hard to do that. Okay, a lot of times, of course, in this channel, I challenge all of us to dream big or small, but I prefer you to think as big as you possibly can. And a lot of times we think big, right? We dream big dreams, which is okay, but we find ourselves, when the problem comes, when the busyness comes, right, we get discouraged, and then the big dreams seem so far away, that is even you even question yourself whether it's ever achievable. So today we want to talk about just being 1% better every day, which is really the motto of this channel that I'm trying to build. So I want to really ask ourselves to think about that. Okay, no matter how busy you are, can we just aim to be at least just 1% better every single day? I know it's hard to keep abreast when we are busy and we lose touch of what we are doing. Then we resort to just drifting rather than dreaming anymore, and then we can even get into a mode of being lazy and thinking that if we just slack off, procrastinate, and we stay the same every single day, that is going to be perfectly okay. But I'm here to tell you that is not okay. That is not norm. Yes, sometimes, like I was last week, I go into a busyness and can sleep in my routine, but that should not be the norm. Okay, so I want to show you a diagram. Okay, I also have some new tools here. Okay, to help make this channel more interesting. So I have a pen and paper. So I want to draw something for you about usually what people experience. You see, we are all human beings. We are all people who strive to become better, right? We all have dreams and we all have visions about where we want to go. So a lot of times when we embark on that journey of becoming better and dreaming and doing things right, and because we dream it, we can see that the vision of how it looks like, right? And we always find ourselves settling into complacency, right? So a lot of times people, if this is growth here, right here, moving here, we find ourselves that we are like okay, we are like, if this straight line is 100%, right, that we are 90% there. Okay, there is this effect called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay, if you Google it, okay, it's called Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay, a Dunning-Kruger effect says it's a cognitive bias that says that sometimes normal people like us, right, when we start on a project, when we go into something new, right, we always overestimate our ability, that we think that we know more than we actually do know. So a lot of times we fall into this Dunning-Kruger effect, where we think that we are okay, we don't feel left behind, we don't feel there's any drive towards the new goal, right? We feel that we are already 90% there. So when we start off, we usually start off very excited, very motivated. Okay, we hear somebody inspire us, encourage us, right? We feel that, oh yes, we can do it, and that's the Dunning-Kruger effect, where we feel like we can do it. And the Dunning-Kruger effect actually has this chart, that goes something like that, right? So the moment we go into a new project, right, we become ecstatic. Okay, we go into this height here, and then what happens is that we realize that actually we do not know much, so we go downhill to this valley, right, where we then slowly learn to grow and to become an expert or a master in the area. So a Dunning-Kruger effect says that sometimes we overestimate our ability. Okay, think about it. If you now think that maybe you are 90% there, right? So you are to the 10%, other people, that you are not far behind from, other people. What if, okay, that 90%, okay, if you translate it, right, what if you are only, what if that 10%, that 90% is only then 10% of the 90% that we do not know? What if you are only 10% away from that 90% that you do not know? The best, you are only 10% towards the best in the world. So if we think realistically, okay, foregoing the Dunning-Kruger effect, right, and think realistically and put ourselves in this chart instead, that we only know 10% of 100% of the best in the world, right? Then wouldn't we put ourselves in a more humble situation to learn more, to be humble, to see that there's so much more to learn and so much more to go after. So today I just want to talk about this, how to be 1% better every single day. Okay, today, as you can see, that my studio, I have put in my 1% in that spirit of improving something every single episode or every single day, and I hope that spirit can be imparted to you, and I can show you my 3 steps, how I become 1%, how I practice, being 1% better every single day. Okay, I want to talk about this topic about being 1% better every single day, focusing on a question that has been asked the most, okay, last week, the whole of the week that I've gone through. Okay, in one of the training that I conducted for a group of people in Myanmar, okay, and there are 2 persons who asked me this question. Okay, how come they asked me this question is this, because I in the beginning of that seminar, right, I showed them a picture of this little boy. Okay, I use there is this program called ChatGPT right now, which is the artificial intelligence search, where you can basically ask this artificial intelligence system a question, and they can actually generate for you. So what I use is this ChatGPT equivalent, but it's for generating graphics. Okay, so I was trying to tell the people my backstory about my childhood when I was young. So I couldn't find a photo of me when I was young. So I went to AI, and I asked this AI from a website called Midjourney to generate that graphic for me. So I put in 12-year-old little boy in the 1970s, 1980s, okay, holding a school bag right at the back of the bus. So it generate 4 pictures for me, all within seconds. I think just within 10 seconds, it could generate 4 for me to choose from. And the best I could find was the one, the lower left-hand corner. So I asked it to generate this one. Okay, so this picture is the one that I show to explain to the people how I was when I was younger. You see, I was a very timid boy. I remember this is the picture that represents the school bus that I used to take from my home to school. And the journey from my home to school is quite far. Okay, and I was the first one, together with my brother, to be picked up by the bus, and I was the last to be dropped off. And I remember every time I come into the bus, right, I was such a quiet, timid, and shy, insecure boy, okay, that I would be sitting at the back of the bus, right, really hugging my back, just like this picture here. Okay, I was hugging my back, and I would not talk to anyone. And throughout the whole trip, for an hour or so, sometimes traffic jam, it can be more than an hour, right, I would not utter a single word. So much so that the people in the bus started to tease me. Okay, when I come into the bus, people will call me, oh look, this is Gam Shi Bao. Okay, Gam Shi Bao is Cantonese for golden school bag. Okay, I was holding the bag like, there are gold inside, right? So it's gold school bag. So I was being nicknamed gold school bag because of my timidity and my shyness, and my timidity and shyness is not, okay, you may say that, okay, all teenagers or all kids, are timid and shy, but you do not know the level of timidity and the level of shyness that I have when I was younger. I remember there was once during Valentine's Day, so my school had this program of dedicating flowers, okay, that you can actually dedicate to people, okay, in the school, for teachers, for fellow students. So I remember giving a flower, okay, and I put it anonymous, I didn't put my name, and I gave to a girl from another class. And I remember there was somebody from the other class who actually knew me, that he knew that it was from me. So he actually told the girl that it was from me, And then I tell you, when I knew about it, I was so embarrassed and so shy that, when the girl realizing it's me, right, started to, look at me, and every time I walk past, I would be so shy, I will hide myself. And there was February, Valentine's Day, right, 14th of February, and for the whole of that year, right, even though the girl know that it's from me, and she may be interested, she start looking at me every time, but I never dare to look at her, and I never dare to talk to her. That's how shy I was when I was a teenager, I was younger. And I remember when we migrated to Australia, a Malaysian boy who doesn't know English, and I was so shy, so timid, so insecure. I went to open a bank account. I remember holding up the queue because the people over the counter cannot understand what I was trying to do. I remember them calling all the other colleagues and ask them to figure out, what is this Asian boy trying to do. So that's the level of shyness that I was going through. So because of that story, and then me sharing with them what I'm doing right now, the different groups of people that I speak to, the different people that I mentor, they ask me this question: so how do you overcome your shyness? So for today, how to become 1% better every day, I want to focus on the area of how to overcome our shyness as an application, so that the principle that I give to you actually has something to hinge on. So I hope it's okay, and I hope all of us will find that it is beneficial, this topic about how to overcome shyness. Okay, the first thing that we need to do, okay, to overcome shyness is this: we have to first recognize that it's not an overnight thing. Okay, I didn't overcome my shyness overnight. Something happened to me and I immediately become not as shy, but it's not an overnight fix. Okay, so we need to have a vision. Okay, it's not overnight, so we actually need to have a vision. So my challenge to all of us is this: can you see yourself, if you are shy today, if you are timid, you are discouraged about your level of socialness, okay, that can you see yourself what you want to be? Okay, can you see the non-shy version of yourself? So in your mind's eye, can you envision, and do you have a picture of how that person looks like? So you need to have a vision, a dream about how it looks like first, before you can put in the action to go for it. So if you cannot even believe that there is a non-shy version of yourself, if I cannot see there's a non-shy version of HT, right, I will never be able to overcome it, because the belief is not there. So I want to encourage everyone to have a vision of what a non-shy person, a non-shy version of yourself is. Okay, not that I never asked you to envision yourself as an extrovert. That's if you're introvert, right? and a lot of us are. Okay, I'm still an introvert. So if you do the Myers-Briggs personality test, you will realize that the first dimension or the first set of thing, right? The dimension is whether you're introvert or you're extrovert, right? So I am an I, so I am an INFP. So the first one is I. So I'm an introvert. So you realize that as an introvert, I never imagine or visualize myself as an extrovert, because if I close my eyes, I try to envision myself, I will never see myself as an extrovert. Okay, I have been in the past. I think I make the mistake that I have to be somebody that I'm not. So I would think that, okay, I needed to be the life of a party, like my friend. I have to be very extroverted, very vibrant. I have to be able to tell jokes, at the spur of the moment thing. I can make everyone laugh, okay. I always thought that I have to be like that, okay. And then that sets me up for a lot of disappointment, okay, until I know that after doing the personality test, or after being more self-aware as I grow older, I realized that I don't have to be an extrovert as an introvert. So I can still be an introvert, but I can envision myself not to be shy. So introversion and shyness is a different thing, okay? You can be an introvert, but you don't have to be shy, okay? So what is the non-shy version of myself? So I want to be able to envision myself like that. So what is some examples of an introvert that is not shy? Okay, it's an introvert that maybe in a party, not life of the party, but you always be able to walk up to somebody and strike a conversation. Okay, or in a project group, when you are doing a project together, okay, you may be an introvert, right? But you can be functionally social. You can functionally socialize or functionally contribute, right? That you volunteer opinions, you volunteer your thoughts, okay, towards the project. That means you become active participant in the project. Okay, can you envision yourself also in a social situation? You see a girl you like, okay, you don't have to be so shy like I was. You know that the girl accepted the gift by wanting to respond and be a friend, right? That you become so shy that you don't even dare to look at her and avoid her for the rest of the 9 months. Okay, you don't have to 9 or 10 months. You don't have to be like that. You can be functional, that you can actually talk to a person that you like. Okay, so that is very, very important. It's not overnight, but you need to have a vision of what a non-shy person is, your version of that. Okay, so one very good way I always challenge people to do is this. You create a movie clip, okay, maybe a 5-second movie clip, okay, of you talking to somebody, talking to a girl, or talking to a stranger, or being active in participation in a project group, okay, or someone asks a question in a big group, that you can envision yourself, that 5-minute clip, right, of you raising up your hands and responding to it, introducing yourself and responding to it, so you can have a vision of what a non-shy version of yourself is. So that's the first thing to do, okay? So have a vision. So the second thing you can do is this. You need to develop or find the one thing that will make the biggest difference to overcome your shyness. So find and develop that one thing that will make a difference to a better life, or a better you, right? So this requires insights, and this requires you to do your homework, your research, to realign your path, okay, the knowledge of what you do differently in order to get to your new dreams. So now you have a new dream, you have a new goal, you have a vision of your better self, a better you, okay? So you really need to research on what is the one thing that will make the biggest difference, right? You don't have to think about too many things. You don't need like 10 things, you don't even need 3 things, right? You need to just overcome that one thing, or know the one way that makes the biggest difference. So when it comes to shyness, okay, I remember one thing that made the biggest difference to me. I think that's when I started to accept leadership roles more, and then I need to talk to people more, right? That's when I discovered this, okay, to overcome shyness, the one thing that will make the biggest difference, okay, in our life is to develop curiosity about the people that we want to talk to, or the people that we want to connect. So develop curiosity means that you are developing a one thing to know the person more, or to learn from the person, or to be curious about an area in the person's life, right? So once you are curious about the other person, you will take away a lot of your own shyness. Okay, your introversion, right, your tendency to look at yourself, right, will be shifted when you develop curiosity to get to know somebody, to wonder, okay, where they come from, which country they come from, or whether what are they studying, or what are they working, how many people are there in their family. All this curiosity, okay, will take away that focus on your shyness, okay, and your introversion. So I think it's important for us to know that curiosity is the thing that would make the biggest difference in overcoming your shyness. See, sometimes the reason why we don't talk to people when we are shy is because we don't have any purpose. We don't have a higher purpose actually to be not shy, right? So introverted people always like to stick to themselves, right? So what's wrong with just being shy and sticking to ourselves? Okay, there's nothing wrong if you're not curious about the other person. But if you are curious about the other person, you want to know something about the person, right? Then you will develop this thing called questions, asking questions. Okay, one of the good exercise that we can do. In fact, in preparation for this, right, I exercised it this morning when I was at a train. I was sitting down, I was looking at people, right? So I developed this curiosity, about this girl going to a school because she was carrying a school bag. I wonder what is she studying. Okay, then I saw a man who's different skin color, who's dark skin, right? And he was maybe on the way to work. So my curiosity is, I wonder which country does he come from, okay? And then I look at other people and I wonder, what sort of, I saw an old lady, so I wonder that, okay, if she's gonna open her mouth and she's gonna speak dialect, right? I wonder what dialect group does she come from. So all this curiosity generally lift, okay, the focus of myself, my shyness, right, towards wanting to find out, what the person do, who the person is, okay, and what is the person going through. So they then develop questions that you can actually ask the person to find out. A lot of times people just say, okay, go out there and ask questions. And I realized that it can be very mechanical if you are asking a question that you are really not interested in the answer to. So it's more important, okay, to find the one thing that makes a difference is to develop curiosity about the other person. So second point is really to develop curiosity, okay, for the application of overcoming shyness. And if not, is to find that one thing, okay, that will make the biggest difference to overcome that area of your life to be 1% better. Okay, and the last thing, okay, after you have found that one thing, maybe that one habit to change, to overcome, right? You got to start start training yourself for consistency. Okay, training yourself for consistency. You find out how you're going to overcome it, right? How to be 1% better, right? Then you have to train yourself to do that thing consistently. You see, life is a joy. life is really a joy. It's really a happy journey. Okay, so life is really training towards that joy. Okay, so the joy is not like a bed of roses, right? There are things to learn, there are things to develop, right? So life is really that training towards that joy. So overcome yourself through seeing that you need to be trained, okay, and you need to be consistently training, okay. So take consistent step, okay. I always ask people not to fall in love with your dream, okay, not fall in love with your dream, but fall in love in your process towards that dream. So enjoy what you need to do every single day, okay? That 1% that you need to do, you need to improve, right? Enjoy that process. Enjoy doing that every single day. And if you do it long enough, then result is going to come. You know, one of the good thing about my dream process I've shared with you all before is to have your dreams, right? You put your big dreams at the end of the journal, right? But in the start of your journal, right, you always write down 3 deliberate things you need to do every single day in order to get there. So small things, right? Little steps, just 1% improvement, right? But do it every single day. So when you write down these 3 things, you are doing what really matters towards your goal. So for the example of overcoming shyness, okay, one of the things that you can start doing is start learning to talk to people, talk to strangers, make a new friend. You can actually put in a habit to make one new friend every day, or talk to one stranger every day, right? So maybe you are in school, in between your classes, right? Sometimes you will move from one class to another, you don't even talk to anyone, or the people you will talk to, you will interact, are usually the people that you already know, okay? So why don't you challenge yourself that every day you will talk to a stranger, you talk to someone you do not know, okay? Maybe just start with a smile, start being curious about the other person, what course are they doing, what country do they come from, if they are a bit like a foreigner, or where do they stay, such simple things like that. So when the opportunity comes, just say hi, what's your name, where do you come from, what class are you doing, hi, I am so and so, I'm studying psychology, or I'm studying architecture, or I'm studying in this class under this teacher, who is your teacher, what class are you from. So train yourself to do these things consistently and move yourself to be 1% better every day. I have a section in my journal, my dream journal, right? I have a section called the tension journal. Okay, it documents things of my interaction with people, okay, during the day itself, and I evaluate how I can connect better at the end of the day. I write down, what happened, who initiated the conversation, right? And how was the conversation, right? Was there any connection, and so on and so forth. And evaluate. So, this comes from the idea that, we can learn the most things from people rather than from things, right? So if you can learn from people, why don't we journal tensions involving people? As an introvert, my encounter with people has always been a bit of a tension, a bit of like, okay, I don't want to, right? But when I go ahead and I initiate a conversation, or I even just ask people about the time, or ask people for direction, right? I challenge myself, okay, to overcome my issue and to be 1% better, okay, in terms of being a non-shy person, okay, to being a more sociable person. So yes, train yourself for consistency. Learn to love your process every single day. So I think, that's it. If you are too busy to be 1% better every day, right? If you're too busy, you don't see a need to be 1% better every day, I challenge yourself, okay? I challenge you, okay, to know that it's not an overnight thing to develop a vision of what a better person is, what a non-shy person is. Okay, number 2 is to develop that one thing, find out one thing that will make a big difference. And if you are shy, it is to develop curiosity. And the third thing is then train yourself consistently, okay, and then to do it every single day, journal it, track it, right? And then when you do it long enough, that 1%, it will make a significant difference, okay, during the course of months or the course of a year. So every day, I remember I started my fitness regime, right? So every day, when I go to the gym, it's not easy. It's not easy to go to the gym every day in the beginning, but I seek to be just 1% better, right? Of course, I don't spend the whole day in the gym. I just spend that 1 hour of my day in the gym, and then it became a routine. And I always remember the quote that I heard: "There's no such thing as a bad workout, right? Only the one that you never do." So that encourages me to just keep doing it consistently, train myself every single day. Every week, every Tuesday, I train myself to go live like this. It's not a very easy thing for me to do, because naturally I am an introvert. Naturally I am shy, still a little bit, and naturally I am a private person. Okay, so it's not easy for me to come out and do this, but I do this every Tuesday. Okay, I make improvement every single time. I think about you. I think about what needs to be done. So I train myself consistently. That's how all these things add up. I remember coming back to Singapore, there are so many technical issues that there were several weeks that I couldn't go live, right? I thought I would give up, but I did not. Every time I wasn't live, I was solving a problem, and I was just consistently doing it every single day. So I'm glad to see the outcome of this podcast. Okay, that many people are starting to listen in, and we are building a community, a tribe of people who are dreamers. So I'm very, very excited that that I have applied what I've been teaching, to be 1% better every single thing, every single day, in this dream of actually starting this podcast. So I hope you'll find this useful. I hope that whenever you are on board, okay, you find something to spur you up in your dreams. I also know that sometimes some of us, you may not have the time or have the kind of focus to work on every single thing that I share with you, right? You might need some guidance or something to coach you along. So I just let you know that even though I don't need to work on my social enterprise anymore, but I am still open to providing coaching, providing mentoring to anyone, okay, who will find that my guide and my support beneficial. So please connect with me, write to me, and leave a comment, or just reach out to me, and I will get back to you on how we can develop a mentoring relationship as well. So with that, I hope this is good. So I will see you next week, and before we go again, let's go into a time of meditation, and asking God to be in the process of our personal development, to be 1% better. For those of you who know, okay, there is a revival happening, okay, in the States, okay, in the state of Kentucky. There's this Ashbury revival, where a group of students came together for a prayer meet, and then at the end of the prayer meet, they refused to go home because they sense a strong presence of God, okay, in that meeting itself. And because of that, they stay on, and then this lasted for weeks, and you can very confidently know, okay, that we have a God that hasn't given up on us. We have a God that's always continually reaching out to us, helping us along the way, in our struggles, in our challenges. Yes, He has given us all these tools, okay, all these techniques, all these methods, and all this knowledge through all these years, okay, of us discovering ourselves, being more evolved now, than we were in the past. He has given us His tools, but yet He's still there to help us along, to guide us along, and to reveal His presence to us. So today, as we meditate or we go into a time of silence, just remember we have a God who loves us, and we can surely, surrender our life and let go, and recognize that we are not just physical beings, but we are also spiritual beings. And when we let go and we let Him come into our lives and become our guide, our Lord, our Savior, then we find ourselves flowing in His ways more. So the application of all these methods, strategies, and techniques becomes so much easier, because you finally realize that being a human is not just a physical experience, but it's also a spiritual connection with a God who loves us. So with that, I hope you enjoy this meditation. Okay, again, if you want to close your eyes, close your eyes and experience God in your breath. Okay, you take a deep breath through your nose and hold it there. Feels your body right now, feels your mind, feels is the love of God for you. So take a deep breath in again. And as you imagine the love of God in you, I also want you to imagine the light of God outside of you. Okay, you sense that there is impurity, there's things that are not of you, not of God, outside of you. I want you to imagine the light of God overcoming the darkness that surrounds you. And the light of God takes over the darkness that is all around you. Because He is stronger, He is more powerful. And when the light comes, the darkness will have to flee. So imagine yourself surrounded by God's light as you take a deep breath. Just breathe out and feel yourself experiencing being 1% better even as you do this exercise. I want you to acknowledge that you are getting better every single day. Say to yourself, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. I want you to end this meditation by thanking God, thanking His Holy Spirit, and thank Him for His breath of life into our being, to cleanse our hearts, to cleanse our soul, cleanse our mind, and to provide that light that protects us from darkness. So with that, we can continue this. So I want to say bye-bye. So if you enjoyed today, please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends about All Human School on every Tuesday, Wisdom and Confessionals, Dreamers Meeting.